Alright, we're back. Started
Do
talking
we do
about
this every time?
missing teeth and...
Yeah, we gotta shake hands.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna do that now. Missing teeth and fun stuff like that and Irish stories, but we have a big announcement. I'm not gonna make it, he's gonna make it.
All right, so on June 17th, right, it's the 17th,
Yep.
I am fighting Drew Alday Moraes, and he's from Detroit, Michigan, I believe. He's 6'4", and he's the unfortunate soul getting invitation that night.
Oh snap. Oh snap, and it was at 150, right? Catch
It
weight?
is at 150. He's been known to fight as a featherweight as well, and when it came down to it, it was an option on the table, so he said, fuck it, let's take 150, not to go so hard on the weight cut, and then just put on a good show.
Nice, man. Nice.
When did you officially get that opponent?
Last week? Week and a half
It's been,
ago.
I wanna say 2 weeks ago.
Maybe 2 weeks.
yeah, probably about 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
What did
All
you
these
know ahead
weeks.
What did you know ahead of the matchup, or when you saw his name on the contract? What did you say, or what did you know about him at that point, if anything?
He was 6'4". He was like, "Did you watch anything on him?" I'm like, "No, he's
Yeah.
6'4". Whatever, I don't care.
No background.
You know. Oh, he's got college experience as a wrestler, and he likes to stand and bang. So it's like a perfect match. And he, from the commentary on his videos, apparently he's got a pretty good jiu-jitsu background as well. But I didn't see anything online about what kind of belt he had or where he studied or anything like that. But they continue to mention that he's got really good jiu-jitsu.
Alright, hey man, it's gonna be an exciting
So-
fight. He's coming up in weight, making 150, and you're finally getting back down to your natural weight class down there. I mean, if it's anything like the last fight, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I mean,
Barn burner like that. I still just like, I did want to hit home on that last fight of yours with Vince McGinnis. That was one of the best fights I've ever seen. That was such a fun fight to call. And I'm
appreciate that.
hoping to Christ that this is going to be
Thank you.
even remotely close to as exciting as that one was.
I mean, I'm hoping this one's a bit quicker. To be honest, I like to.
How rocked were you?
I mean, he hit me when my left foot was off the ground and he hit me and I didn't have my footing and I sat my ass down. And I sat down, I was like, what the fuck, let's go. And like, I'm sitting there talking to myself, I'm like, this is not the kid that you're gonna fucking lose to. I don't know, if I'm not supposed to be swearing.
No, you're right.
Don't worry, you're at like a 14 F-bomb count. We threw
Sorry,
it.
too late for that.
And so he sat me down and I was like, this is not the kid that you're fucking losing to. And I got back up and I just started, attacking and attacking and attacking. And the first round I stayed at his range and he worked his range really well. And I wasn't pressing through his punches the way I wanted to. And then I started to in the second round, and to start the third round, I was smiling, and I'm like, I'm gonna murder this kid, and he's sitting there like pacing back and forth, and I'm like grinning from ear to ear, just ready to go.
Yeah, so that second round when you got clipped and he walled you and ended up taking you down, I was like, oh shit, I think Pete Barrett's down 2 rounds. And then when you watch it back, it's like it's one of those fights of watching it live, because I know like a big knockdown for me always like sells it for me to get dropped. When he went stiff, I was like, oh shit,
See,
this is a tough one for him. The second time.
With the second round though, I started landing those power doubles.
Yeah.
So he spent a lot of time on his back, and I was landing a lot of elbows.
And that left hand started finding a home.
Yes.
Regularly.
Well, that's when I started pushing through that pressure.
Yeah.
And I watched that first round, and I'm like, dude, that's not the way you fight. Like, pressure. I needed more pressure, and I just bit down the second round and went through it.
I'm sure the overhand right, because he was able to.
So
He was able to get that, and
it was classic bang Muay Thai. What he was
Yeah.
doing was he was drawing me in with a 1-2, drop stepping in, countering with a 2.
Yeah.
And I was feeding into it. The whole first round, I fed into it. Because he was
That
clipping
leg.
me, and I was just like,
Long arms.
fuck this guy! And coming in, and he was back and clipped me. And that's why this side opened up.
yep.
Yeah.
Because it was his right hand, and he was finding a home with it
Yeah.
the whole first round.
That's
And
one
then,
thing I said to you afterwards. We talked.
But that's like
I said,
classic bang Muay Thai, right?
Pete always loves to bang and just like and throw down, but it's like he also wrestling. He's a wrestling coach, and I think I laughed at him at the end of the fight. I was like, you had your whole entire high school wrestling team, and you wait till the end of the second round to finally start using
Yeah, that
the
was
takedowns.
the first thing you said.
I was like, I said that to him. I was like, if you lost this fight and you didn't attempt one takedown, how are you gonna go back and coach those kids? Sometimes the fans love to see people trading and just closing their eyes and swinging.
Such a sick fight, bro.
Such a sick
I
fight.
think that obviously was the difference in the fight. I mean, when you were standing, you know, you're known for a bang era type striker. He was more of a technical striker, which I kind of, you know, it's not that it's a slight on you, it's just he was a little bit more technical going into that fight and a little bit more straight punches. And you're more of the brawler type, a little bit, you know, loopier punches but more power. So when you guys kind of squared off, he was getting a little bit of advantage there. And then obviously you adjusted your game plan and, you know, you came out victorious. But I think both you guys, I mean, I think I said this the last time we talked about this fight. You know, you hear people say, oh, both guys are winners. And it's like, no, really, one guy lost.
Yeah.
But he did gain a lot of fans up in New England.
Definitely.
Which, you know, he was one of those guys like, oh man, we'd love to see Vince back.
Yeah. But that was his third.
Well,
Or
for
second,
us,
yes.
you know, his second time fighting for us, he did fight in Maine.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
You know, so, you know, I've always stayed in contact with Vince ever since then. He just got his brown belt.
And
I saw that.
You
Yeah,
know, so, you know, he's coming back up this next show as well. But, you know, it was a great fight. You know, we talked about it in our last episode is sometimes when you get those guys that are 5-5, like a Vince, you know, his record doesn't tell the story how tough he
I
is.
mean, well, with those type of guys, you don't like you look into their tapes and it's clear like some nights they show up and some nights they don't.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that's clear is that, like the case was when he came up here to fight you, he's going around to he's kind of a road warrior. He's going to other states to fight, and he's probably going to states to fight undefeated prospects like you or tough guys where he's kind of the underdog. So you know when you're fighting top level guys in every one of your fights, it's a coin flip. Some of these fights, and you know that's where his record is 5-5. But you know he showed that he was a really high level legit fighter, and it was a great test for you.
We saw, I think it was that Lions fight, Delgado get real passionate in the ring, out the ring. So what did he say to you? I know I asked you what he said in between rounds, but what did he say once you were upstairs? Because we saw that passion when he was in and out of the ring.
Oh,
Who was that? Who was that?
He looked at me. He goes, "You are the only guy that I've ever coached that I've ever told to fucking wrestle." Like, the only one I've ever said to wrestle.
That's right.
The only one I've ever said that to.
That's right.
That's great. I knew it was only a matter of time before the actual interview when you came out and started asking some of the deep diving questions.
Yeah.
So for those of you who might not know, I'm sure everybody knows of Combat Sports Nation. This is the man with the plan who has built that nation up. How did you get started in that? Just to pick your brain a little bit.
So real quick, I have always been a fan of mixed martial arts since Tough. I wouldn't even be
Have
able.
fought too, right?
Yeah, I've competed. I don't like to mention it because it was one. I feel corny, cheesy. Like I found that one time. But
You
yeah,
won though, right?
Yeah,
I
didn't lose.
no, I didn't. And I competed in grappling and stuff, and I feel like I'm
Tapped out this
I'm
guy.
competitive. However, everybody knows.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm gonna let him have this. We all know the truth. It's all right.
So-
I know, I
So-
witnessed the truth.
But
He
the thing-
unbarred you like a sap.
So my wife, I wanted to train. My wife was totally against it because where I was in my life at that time, and then a childhood friend of hers that she knew was like, "Hey, I'm training," and she was like, "Oh, Shaun, now it's okay that you train because I know him." So then I went to school, and I was all about teleproductions and multimedia and journalism, and I was like, let's combine the two. So, so when I was lead anchor at STCC, I did my very first mixed martial arts story was on Matt Bissett when he was in the Bellator featherweight tournament. And I think it was LeBar she was fighting. But I had done, that was my very first mixed martial arts story. And then Joe Leonard from Western Mass MMA, he was actually filming Neff, and the production side of me wanted to go help him, so I sort of got things going with Joe Leonard. And then one thing led to another, and I was like, you know what? I don't really like, I hate writing. I don't like to write. I'd rather do an interview, so people can see that emotion. You can only, I'm not Hammersmith, he can write some emotion down on paper, but I'd rather have the fans see the emotion, of what they're telling you. And so I was like, I don't mind being in front of a camera. I can talk. And I feel like I could build a relationship like I have with Peter and many other fighters. Not to be an asshole, but that I've gained that ability to ask some of the questions that many people won't necessarily want to ask because of the relationship that I've just built from going to events. My first event was in Rhode Island, and that's because Joe Leonard could not make it. Well, I'm getting a shout out. Joe Leonard was not able to make it, so he contacted me and said, "Hey, Shaun, do you want the credential?" And I took the credential, and then after that, I was like, "Oh, it's too easy to get a credential." And I learned. I learned.
So he was the blood so, or Joe Leonard was his blood so. And
no,
he's your blood so.
yeah,
He's your blood so.
No, I
Hey,
mean,
Pete's shaking his head. So the story is that
I get it.
Yeah,
So
say
it's
you
like,
are- you
is
are
he
the
Jimmy
blood-
Garoppolo?
no. I got Tom Brady.
So he got Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Because our first when we
So does
started.
that make him Garoppolo?
No, I'm
No,
Tom
he's
Brady.
Tom Brady.
Oh, all right.
And he's blood cell. So the backstory how they got the job commentating was Gilday was supposed to commentate. When we started talking about doing a commentating team, Gilday was going to head it up, and I think he was picked.
first of all-
I asked Chris Martino.
He tells the story. He tells the
I
story.
go before that.
Hey, Rich is finally going to talk, so let him have
I'm just
the
gonna
stage.
sit back and
I've been bugging you to do it forever.
Yes, you have.
Like the past 2 years. But anyways, so I got wind that he was doing it with Chris. And I was like, what is this?
No.
I've been bugging Mike about this forever.
We love Chris to death.
Yeah, I
Talking-
didn't think Chris was going to do a good job, to be honest.
Talking's not his thing.
Better watch out. Chris is going to beat you up tomorrow.
So, anyways, so fast forward to fight night. So yeah, so I was kind of like whatever.
day before.
They got the job. So yeah,
The day of.
Oh, that was when
Was it
there
the day
was
of?
the.
Hey,
My God.
Yeah, because that was when it was the back-to-back CES.
You fought the
games.
Yes, that's right.
So I fought the night before, and I was gonna go to the fights the next night, and then I get a call from Shaun,
Sick.
and he can barely talk, and he's
Sick.
like, "Hey man, I'm sick. You want the job? Take it." And I'm with Chris, and then Chris was kind of like, he was kind of edgy about it. He was kind of wishy-washy. He was like, "I don't know if I want to do it anymore." And I was just like, "Chris, relax. I gotta go."
I got this.
I got it.
So I call up Andy, and I'm like, "Hey, when are you coming to Cage Titans?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't know. I'm probably gonna get a carpool around like 6 o'clock." And I'm like, "No, I need you here now. We're commentating."
and that sucks for me because
He's like, just like that.
not only
And
do the
then
Beard
there it
Park
is.
girls
That's
miss
the story.
me, but people at Sun Dynasty miss me. I can go in and crush like 3 Mai Tais, run in, spend a bunch of cash on the beers, be hanging over the ledge, cheering fights on, and he's like, "Ah, no, now you gotta stay sober and talk for 6 hours straight." And there we go.
It is kind of funny because, Mortino, they
No,
can win
Stone
beers.
Cold
No, yeah.
No.
Mortino Petunia is
No.
great, but like, he's never been one. Even like when we try to get him to do interviews for, like when he was our champ at 3
Stone
different weight
Cold.
classes, he's
Stone Cold.
He's like, "I'll kick your ass."
Yeah.
And he's like, "That's it."
I'm
You know?
gonna interject there because
cool.
you know what? I feel as if again the relationship I built. I feel like Chris is much the way you just said. Is like he might seem a little reserved, maybe not as outgoing. Let's use me as an example. But I'll tell you, our interviews, I've always felt as if I've always had the true Chris in front of me, and like I feel like he's never held anything back when I talk to him. I don't know. I just feel Chris is a real dude,
Yeah.
and I feel like he feels I'm a real dude.
Yeah, he's a real kid, but when you ask him,
I appreciate
yeah,
that.
yeah, he's a real guy, obviously, but he's not very animated,
Right.
and
He's
things
not.
of those nature. So it's hilarious, is that he has been harassing me, Snapchat, text message. Let me commentate, and we just never had the means to do it. And then when we finally pulled the trigger on it,
Can I
He's actually- he wanted to do
I
it.
interject? Because I was harassing him and shit too. But the reason was because he would do the post-fight commentating. It was fucking terrible.
Jesus Christ.
he'd be like trying to call the fights, like knowing exactly what was going to happen, and be like, you can hear it in his voice as he's
Well,
trying to do
listen,
it.
it was very difficult because we've had the same production company, Provision. They've been with us since day
Right.
one of Cage Titans.
Right.
So they've kind of grown with us. And when he first started, the equipment he had, things of that nature, he didn't allow for live commentary. And it's very true. When we put the videos up, it was very blah with nothing going on. So he'd be like, "Hey, Mike, come down to my studio. And I would literally sit in his office and watch the fights back on camera, like on a monitor. And
A week later.
a week later, after I already know what happened, I already know the results. Now, granted, I don't know all the intricacies of the fight because I never sit there and watch every fight. But I'm sitting by myself with a microphone in this kid's office
That's
for
so
6
awkward.
hours. And I'm just commentating, like trying to talk. Because I would always ask somebody to go. Keegan did it with me once.
Are those archived somewhere?
Yeah, they're archived somewhere. You have to
YouTube.
do the DVD,
Which
yes.
ones are those?
So, you know, we would do
Yeah,
commentary,
yeah.
and then finally when we evolved to the point where we could do it live, these guys came in, they crushed it, they killed it. They actually showed up in the same outfit.
That was totally
I mentioned that.
Yeah, they didn't
No,
play
it's
it.
totally not. Because I was at an open house, and he called me. He's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm about to go to our coach's house. We're gonna get into a party bus. I'm gonna slug back some nips. I'm gonna drink a bunch of beers. I'm gonna get to the fights and have a good time."
If you
He's
can't
like,
tell,
"No."
Andy likes to drink.
He was like, "No, I need you down here now." So I said, all right, fine. So I just drove down there, and I parked. I was outside the hall, and then he comes and picks me up to go to the motel. I'm like, and when he picks me up, I'm like, "You shitting me?"
They're in the
Get in. And I
they're in
look at him, I'm
basic
like, "Are you
basic
shitting me?"
what business
We're in
white
the
guy.
same exact freaking pale blue shirt with
Khaki
khaki
pants.
pants. We even got the same fucking shoes on.
I think the hair was combed the same way too.
It was horse
about
crap.
it.
All right, that about does it for section number 2. We'll be back in a few minutes for section number 3. I gotta take a call. Bye.